what's going on? Dan here, DD Speed Shop. Just got home from work. It's cold out. Still in my uniform, but it's going to be dark right away. So, here, I'll show you what I'm going to do here, because when I'm chopping this up, it'll make a lot more sense. Chopping this up more, obviously, because she's been a little chopped. Now, the old Nomad's partially uncovered. So the whole reason we got this hot rod was chassis and the rear kind of frame, or the rear floor section all that. Now, I did a little poking around. So this wheel tub is 1, 2, 3 pieces, which should just be one. It joins kind of right here at this pinch weld, so that's fine. I don't think I'll join it up there. I'll probably join it down, or who knows what I'll do. Maybe I will drill it out and take it right out. Over here, this is all rotten out fiberglass, like just a whole sheet of cloth put on it and then covered in resin. You can see over there in the corner, there's holes in it. You can see on that side, there's 3 distinct lines on the wheel tub. Now maybe that's how Nomads are. Maybe it just needs the front bit. I'm not really too sure. The sides look okay, and the front floor is irrelevant. So what we're gonna do on this thing, this is how I'm gonna cut it out. I'm gonna cut this lip off, the whole section, so that'll come out. I'll then, I don't even know what it, well, zip it out there. So we'll take out the wheel tub and the whole inner structure and all that in one piece on both sides. That'll leave just the center section, which we'll have to do something with this as well. Probably cut it lengthwise. I gotta look at the Nomad. I think it's different. It's got a different lean to it, but might be able to use some of this stuff. But realistically, cut that out through there. Both sides will be gone. We'll be left with a floor, which will just be bolted down with a few body mounts. Be able to undo that, and that'll come off. And that's what we're really going to use. So that's my plan anyways. We'll take it off in bigger chunks. It's easier to cut metal down than it is to stretch it. You know what I mean? So take it off in big chunks. We'll put it behind the garage for some storage. And then we'll get down the chassis of this thing, because that's going to be a lot of work. Get it cleaned up, ready to go and all that. I got the disc brakes and the control arms are supposed to be here right away. So if that's done, we're down to a bare chassis. We can clean this thing, make it 100% dialed, ready to go together. And realistically, I mean, we could do whatever we want. The other thing is, I'm planning on taking this out. I don't know if I should just leave it on this chassis. Well, take it off and then bolt it back on. I've seen a lot of guys, they do tri-5s. They'll do the floor and all that all together, and on a hoist, then they'll drop the body on. I don't know. I don't have the height to do that. Don't have a hoist and all that. So we'll see. Like typically, I fold it up or do whatever I got to do. But this thing will be, well, it'll be a shell. It'll be more of a shell than it already is. So that's the plan for tonight. Start kind of taking apart like those 3 big kind of modular sections, and yeah, the floor, it's unfortunate, it's a nice little floor section, so I will cut it across there so I could sell a rear floor section to a tri-5 guy if he needs it. It's a little rotted in both corners, but you know what, that's still good metal. I'd buy it, not for much. I did sell the doors, the post, and the quarters off this thing, so I'm into this thing for a total of a few $100 now, so I feel much better about it. If I sell the front clip and the hatch, we're basically free, right? So the old barter system. That's the plan. It's gonna get dark. I got the heat cranked with the door up like an idiot, man. But we'll get that all taken care of, and we'll start cutting away, get this thing all down. I might start up here and just start. I mean, at this point, there's nothing left. That's just what I want to keep. Thanks for watching. Hopefully, it's a good one. just like that, it's apart. So chassis is not bad. There's one little tiny rust hole size of a dime or something like that. I mean, no different than a hole drilled in it. So either I'll just drill it or I'll probably weld it up. But this is the section we wanted. I cut the size off just to have, but it's in really good shape. I mean, all the bracing is good. You know, no real issues. The wheel tubs aren't bad. The back section's junk and the front little bit's bad. I don't remember what's the Nomad needed. Back here, the bracing's all, I mean, it's in really nice shape. The well is in good shape. Obviously somebody tried to, you know, undercoat this or do something to it and keep it presentable. That's good. This thing, it was like half taken apart. There was 2 bolts at the back. Didn't have these ones, and the rest of the floor is no bolts in it whatsoever. So I'm going to just zip that and the tunnel. This section of floor will come out and be garbage. Then I think I'll probably know what I want to do if I want to screw around with the cowl for any reason. I mean, it's pretty beat. The other one is, like, this one's not much better than the Nomad. It'd be a pile of work to cut this out and then do it and all that, so I might as well just kind of work with what I got. I mean, the toe boards are rotten on this. They're rotten on the other car too, so I'll probably just buy toe board patches. So yeah, I'll just pull the windshield out, chop that. I might take the dash out of it. Otherwise, it's just section this thing up and be garbage. And call the garbage man, scrap guy, to come get it all tomorrow. And there we go. So, I don't know if I said it or not, but I sold the doors, the posts, the quarters, and hopefully I got a guy who wants to look at the front clip either tonight or tomorrow. So if I sell all that, I'm into this thing for a total of $0. Unfortunately, I had to cut up a good car, but I ended up with that section I wanted and the chassis, which for free, for a little bit of labor and a little bit of video for you guys to watch. Thanks for that, by the way. We're doing okay. So I'll sit back up on the laps. We'll zip this all apart, and I think we're going to call it for the night. It's a lot of labor. Springs actually don't even look like they're broken. Amazing. Well, I feel like it's a good place to leave it. Chassis is good. We got a couple of little bends and stuff in this back. Support, no big deal. We can straighten that out. Otherwise, so there's that little rust hole I got to take care of. Hasn't been messed with too bad. Still has the factory transmission mounts, clutch stuff is all there, shifter stuff. Steering box is all together. It looks like it's been apart at some point. It's got lug nuts holding things together. This is ugly. Somebody ugly welded on these, like, what is that? So I'll get that up and clean that up. It looks like they, whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, otherwise all the mounts are good. Thing is chock full of dust and stuff like that. Unfortunately, being into November here, probably have to live with it till spring or whatever. So I think I'm going to sand it all down and use some like KBS or POR or something like that. Paint it all so it'll look nice. And kind of go from there. I did get, I don't know if I said it on this video, I did get control arms, my tubular control arms, and disc brake kit. So I could, in theory, take this thing, you know, strip it all down, strip the front end off, weld it, clean it, paint it, put the new front end on, and have it be a roller with all new stuff, nice painted chassis. That'd be kind of sweet. And then, yeah, basically done with it at this point. Well, once I get to that point, I should say. The other garage is still taking a little bit of time, but I'm hoping I have that kind of more together in a couple of weeks, which I'll probably be done the frame already, so I might have to go outside the Nomad, I have to come in and start. I don't know if I should swap frames first or if I should do all the quarters, get some structuring, because it's so flimsy right now. I'm thinking I should put the quarters on, weld the rockers in, maybe even put the floor in, and so I got all in the other chassis, because the other chassis is the original one to it, so all the mounts will be the same. It's probably all bolted down, hasn't been messed with. It was just chopped right in front. This is where the cowl would be, right here forward. It had just a front clip put on it. So the body hasn't been messed with on the frame, I don't believe. So might be best just to get this all 100% done, tarp it up, put it in the corner, do whatever I gotta do, and start really doing the body work, which, let's be honest, should go pretty quick. Well, not to toot my own horn, but I should be able to jam the corners on, put the floors in, put the rockers on, you know, a couple of weeks, 10 days. And then the thing will be structurally sound for a body for the Nomad. Then we can lift it up, frame out, frame in, which will be a gong show, and then plug it down in here. So like I do with the floor, and I have up on top, I got a brand new bushing kit right there. Bushing kit and bolts. So you put it all together, right? I think that's probably what I'm going to do it. I'm going to think about it. Maybe you guys can leave some comments, let me know what you think. But that's what I'm going to do for tonight. Tomorrow we'll probably end up, well, I'll clean up. We'll probably strip the front end down, do all the welding I want to do and all that, leave it there, and then start prepping it for paint on the next video. And, you know, put the front end on. That probably seems good, eh? Strip it all down one video, put it all back together another, and do that 84 more times. Alright, see you in the morning. Okay, so it's the next day. Doing some cleaning up. We actually got a little bit of walking room. So here's what we're left with. Yeah, it is what it is. Couple little spots need a little bit of love. Front frame horn, it's just a little rust hole in there. Get in there, take care of that. It's obviously been pulled at some point with a chain. To straighten that, straighten the back. That's fine. Now, I know people are a little cranky. I'm cutting this thing up. Away she goes. I have sold the doors, the post, the quarters. I sold the front clip. And at this point, I'm up money on the car. So this thing was worth more money in parts than it was whole. That's sad. I then also got everything I need out of it. A bunch of spare parts. We loaded up the back of the Nomad with, like, I cut the dash out of it, pedals, everything. I still have the tailgate to sell. The only thing going to garbage is this. So rotten out floor pans, the cluster that was missing everything, including the needle, and I have a couple spares. The old firewall, I cut in half just so I could kind of maneuver it. Like I said, I cut the dash out of it. I didn't take the wiper stuff. I got 2 or 3 sets of that. Otherwise, it was rotten. The upper firewall, I've never had a car that's needed that, and I think if it's rotten all the way up here, you got more problems. The toe boards were mediocre. They could have been saved, but whatever. And a broken front windshield and the windshield surround. So that's it. One truckload of garbage, not too bad. Anyways, it's a gorgeous day out. We're gonna roll this thing out real quick. I'm gonna try and hose down as much of the frame as I can before I get in there. These chassis, so they typically, well, not typically, but they have, I've seen a few with rust. They rust up in here all the time, and right down at the bottom where the spring perch is. This one is just a little tiny hole. But as you can see, they just get absolutely packed. Like, that's all full, that whole amount full of junk, front to back. It's coming out all these holes. So if I can get in there with the hose, spend an hour or so screwing around doing that. It's easy to get right now, obviously, with nothing on top. So I'll put the truck on the street, roll it out, run the hose, get it all kind of cleaned up, then I'll let it dry for a little bit, bring it back in. We'll fix a few little weld marks there I got to take care of, and then the next video I think we'll start on this. I got some of this KBS chassis stuff in the mail. My control arms and brakes showed up. So I'm thinking this video will finish up by getting it all cleaned, welded, and stripped. So it'll just be a bare frame. I'll leave the rear end in it. And then next video, coat it, put the front end together, and then we're styling. I don't have control arms and all that, or tie rods and stuff like that right now in stock. So I'll have to order a set, but really this thing will be front to back down in another probably week or so. Chassis will be pretty good. The only thing I'll have to do is change the bushings in the leaf rings. So I do want to do that. So I'll have to order all that stuff, take that all apart. But once everything's painted, it's super easy to get to that stuff with no body. So we'll see it out there. We'll start hosing. Okay, so cleared out the inside of the frame there. I didn't do a lot of filming, any filming, because you already saw me do a lot of stripping, and just adding water to it's probably, nobody wants to see that. But all good, we have that one little hole we got to take care of. It's got a little whammo. I just got to kind of knock it back. It looks like it was hit a curve or something like that. Not too bad, a little kink. Get that all taken care of. There's so much, like just so much mud packed in there. I'm always amazed. The front end's all kind of full of moss and stuff. I didn't do too great a job cleaning it because the control arms, all the springs, all that's coming off. The steering, all that's coming off, and I got to get in there and get the motor mounts out. So once everything's out of the way, to hit this with a little wire wheel would be nothing to take care of. So yeah, bumper off. I guess we got to drop this cross member. It's been welded on, this aftermarket universal transmission thing. So we gotta get that off. We'll fix that up underneath. Overall, it's in really good shape. I'm pretty happy with it. A couple little things we gotta take care of, but hopefully tonight we'll let it dry. I don't want to be working in wet junk. We get it all taken care of. Should be able to get it all welded up, and then yeah, take everything apart. Whether it happens tonight or the next couple days, we'll see what happens. But yeah, fluked out with like 2 nice days. It's supposed to be freezing from like here on out, basically. So enjoy the last day while we can. So we gotta suck her back in and gonna change my pants
again.
Okay, we're in the garage. I had to do a little patch under the frame as well, which was a pain in the ass. So for anybody freaking out this thing was mint, it wasn't. So I had to put a little patch in right there, which is all good now, and I did another one right there, just where it joined to the body mount. Otherwise it's sturdy. It's weird, like usually they rot out under here. This one didn't there, and everything in the back was fine. So must have just had a little nest or something in there at some point. And honestly, it wasn't rotting through. It was just, you know, when it gets swollen. So I probably could have ground it down and schmucked some stuff over it, but we don't hack stuff around here. Anywho, I got the one side cut off. We'll get the other side of this transmission cross. I might just kind of, it was a pain getting under there, so I might just zip it so it comes off, and then deal with that when I'm on the other side. Because when I paint this, we're gonna do the top and the sides. We'll do the underside, well, later on, I guess. But I do want to kind of wire wheel it or make it look somewhat presentable, especially in the front. Maybe under here isn't as important. But now we'll roll this thing back. We'll get it up on stands, and we'll rip apart the front suspension real quick. And yeah, I think that's where we're gonna leave it. Been lots of cutting and screwing around and all that, but we got a nice foundation. This is like epitome of a frame-off restoration, which I feel like I've been doing lots of lately. That convertible is a big job. This is another big job. I need to buy something that's like a little further ahead. Maybe spend a little bit more money and get something that's not quite a pile. So I think we'll rip the front suspension off. That's really it for tonight, 'cause I'm tired. Tomorrow I might finish out the video by, like I said, fixing all the little dents and whatever, straighten everything out, and I don't know if I'll carry on. I gotta see how much footage we have for length. We gotta grind the whole thing down, or at least sand it, and then the video after that will be painting it, all that stuff. These motor mounts are, I can't get over the butchery. Man, it's gonna be so much grinding to get this off nice for something that's so terrible. Oh well. We're up front. So I peeled the bumper off. It's actually not as rusty as I thought. There's just a little piece in the back which is irrelevant. I pulled the wheel off and I dropped one tie rod. I have a piece of all thread rod through where the shock would be to hold the control arms from exploding under spring tension. I already got the back bolts out, so I just got the front ones to do. Put a floor jack under it for safety. Now, tri-fives are always a pain for these control arms. You can, in a lot of cars, you can undo the control arm, put a floor jack under it and break the ball joints. Which you can do on a tri-five too, I guess, but when there's no weight on the car, it fights you a little. So put the floor jack under for safety. We got our rod there, so hopefully she won't blow apart. I'll just zoom these bolts up. Okay, it's the next day. I did nothing last night because I was frustrated that I ran out of weld or torch gas. I got some today, heated up that bolt, came right off like nothing. Story of my life. Anyways, I did that, and you know, it was a little precarious because the lower ball joint let go. Of course, I didn't have the camera running. It was a little butthole perkin, but look at that. Still think it's a good car. Rotten right out. So that was intense. But we'll get on this side now. I do have to get longer bolts because those control arms are a little thicker, so we got to change those tomorrow. But blow this side apart, rip the steering, rip the box and all that off. Grind this down, see if it needs any welding in there because it might, and then see, like this stuff's all boogered on, so I'm going to clean that up and, you know, put a few little welds there. But that's it. And then I got to run out and get a wire wheel, some sandpaper and stuff like that so we can clean this chassis up. But other side real quick, hopefully it'll go easy now. I'm just going to heat everything up with a torch. I'm not going to mess around with nothing, and then it'll just fall apart nicely. Hopefully it doesn't blow up. That was intense. I had to do a little screwing out the torch, but things ready to go. The front bolts of this thing were just absolutely seized. Unfortunately, got under it. It's a little rusty under there. So we'll need some rust repair on the front cross member, which is kind of unfortunate. It's not the end of the world to repair. It's not crazy, but I was hoping to scuff it and paint it. And yeah, it's just what there is in the bottom. There's a little kind of pocket, like a little lip, and the lip is a little rusty. So everybody who thought this thing was just a mint sedan delivery, definitely seen better days. That's like 3 rust repairs on a frame. That's kind of lame. Again, nothing bad, but still. I guess what can I say? After I sold everything, this cost me a total of $0. So, anyways, now we just loosen this, and that will slow the tension out of the spring, and then we take everything apart. There we go. So now, pulling off the steering, which is just a few bolts, rip up the brake and fuel lines, and we got ourselves a bare frame. I was working pretty hard under the frame here. I tried having the camera set up, but I kept rolling into it and making a mess. It just didn't work out. So I figured I'll just show you all the ugly work I did. And yet another reason this Sedan delivery is freaking cursed. But way she goes. Oh, the frame was rough. No bones about it. Up here I dwelled a little patch in there. Actually, part of it was when I was torching this, I got a little torchy and kind of got in there, but whatever. Under here, I had to do that section. And this section, that's actually the rusty metal I used, so you can see what I ended up doing. So it was a task. There's no bones about it. It's kind of lame. Anyways, well, stupid balance. But I think we got her done. I've been through every inch of this frame front to back. It is rust-free and it is solid and it is strong. There's no problems. Here's actually a piece I cut out. So you can actually see how thin the metal is on the frame. Like on the outs, where it's kind of thickest, obviously it had a few thin spots, but I put in way thicker stuff. Put a lot of heat to it. It was all good. Oh, this is the other side. Same thing. This is the first cut, then I went bigger. Yeah, like that's what it is. Anywho, that's all done. So now the lap's on. Just gonna unbolt brake lines, rip that out. Guess I'll finish cutting that out. This is the exhaust hanger from a single exhaust. Hack that out. And I think everything else stays. I might just put an 80 grit flap disc on and start kind of going over a few things in this area where I can actually get to it. In all reality, this section, this is where the cowl bolts to. So here forward, you might actually see with the hood up. The rest of it, it is what it is. We'll clean it up, make it look nice, but it's never ever going to be looked at unless you're on your hands and knees checking out this sweet Nomad. And let's be honest, I build quality stuff, so people probably will be on the underside trying to get tips about how good I am, right? Not happening. But we'll do that. Oh yeah, I gotta do the motor mounts. I forgot about that. Man, these were ugly. Grind in there, and they put so much heat into it. They actually burnt some holes in it, so I gotta re-weld that. Yeah, there's still work to be done tonight. Same thing in there. Like, look at that. Booger welded on, and then screwed up. So I'm gonna cut all this stuff off too. Clutch stuff. We're not gonna use any of that. Well, I thought we were close to done, but we're not. But I am finishing this video tonight because it is kicking my ass. I want to be done with it. I'm going to give her tonight as much as I can. And then I'm done. And then we'll start painting this thing tomorrow. I might get a wire wheel or some sandpaper tomorrow, but that's the way it's going. Alright, she's stripped down. As much as she's coming down, I'm out of batteries. My cordless tools are out of batteries. The GoPro's almost out of batteries. We're ending it here. I just started hitting it real quick with some 80 on the flap disc. It just took the chunks off. I mean, this coating is meant to go right over rust. It just can't be oily or wax and kind of junk like that, which we don't have that problem. We just have rust. But hit it real quick and just take that like this scale off and turn it into something, you know. I mean, that was the same rust. You can just take it down a little bit. It'll just lay a lot nicer, look a lot nicer. whatever. I have just two little kinks to fix in the front rails, and then we gotta smarsh that just a little bit. It's got a few little kick-ups and stuff like that, but we'll do that at the beginning of the next video, because I've had enough. It's an absolute disaster in here, but we'll get her cleaned up. So then right away, I'm gonna start this tomorrow. I'm not doing anything else tonight, but tomorrow, clean up, bend the frame back into place, just a little kinks here and there. I think I guess a couple of spots I want to weld. No big deal. I got to drill out a couple of spot welds, or spot welds. Losing my mind. Rivets. These two rivets on each side got to go, because that's where the motor mounts are going to go. So I'm going to do that and get that all cleaned up so that way I can paint over it. There's putting the fasteners in. There's no screwing around. We'll clean it up. We'll paint it. That'll be tomorrow. Let it sit overnight. Hopefully it can dry. And then the following day, I got to drag it out. It's in the house now, but we have the control arms we put on the 57, same set, and a set of disc brakes. Kid never bought before, but I was so pissed off at the last one, I thought, we'll go something else. And they're power disc brakes. Should be the same deal. I do have to peel apart the spindles and all that, you know, all the front control arms and everything like that. Take that all apart, get that cleaned up, but everything will be brand new. And then we should have, you know, the next video, 2 or 3 days, we'll have a completely painted chassis, tubular control arm with disc brakes on it, and then I could probably hang the front or the steering back on it. I just took it off, but hang it on for now with a couple of, you know, nuts and bolts, and it'll be steerable. So it'll be old steering and old rear end, and yeah, that's a pile of progress. Then I don't know what I should do. Unfortunately, the other garage is still under a little bit of construction. I don't really want to get in there just yet. We don't have proper power, so this might go outside or go in that garage, just kind of roll over there, and we'll suck the Nomad in. We'll actually maybe start on the Nomad here, because I'm not gonna lie, I want to work on the Nomad. I want to work on the Nomad. But that's a couple videos down the road yet. We got a few other things on the go. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you're not still angry about the Sedan delivery being tore up, but hey, it is what it is. Leave a comment, like the channel, all those things, and I will see you tomorrow.